Hello everybody, I'm here at Mark's Farm and I'm posing as a salesman for equipment maintenance, and he is the farmer, and we're going to talk about equipment under his shed and what maintenance services I can post to him. So Mark, good to meet you.
Nice meeting
How'd
you.
you hear about me?
Well, the Smiths down the street, they don't have as big a farm, but they are very happy with what you do. I know you head over there probably once or twice a quarter.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you for bringing me along. So what all do you do here? I see you got a various array of equipment under the shed.
Yeah, we've got about 1,500 acres here. We grow corn, hay, we have beef cattle. I got about 4 or 5 employees, so it's a big operation, bigger than I want it to be.
Yeah, I can believe that. So what's your current maintenance program?
Well, that's the scary part. We piecemeal it. Until something breaks down is when we service it. And it's just not the right thing. And that's why when I spoke to Bob Smith, I said, let's talk to your guy and see if it's something you can do.
I understand that. So now tell me about your fleet. I see you got an array of equipment, like I said earlier.
There's about 25 engine-operated things here. And then our implements, we have probably 30. What happens with our implements, we end up buying one instead of repairing it. So we've got probably 3 or 4 of the same thing, which after you fix them, we may even think about selling a few things.
Very good.
In regards to repair. But we've got everything you need to operate cattle farm, corn, everything else.
Very cool. How many trucks do you have, roughly?
You mean regular pickups or?
Pickups and semis.
Oh, we've got probably 6 total. Yeah, 6, so that's including one of them I drive every day, but everything else is here on the farm, stays here.
Very good. So let's take a look at the equipment under your shed. So you got a sprayer tractor, that's roughly 110 horse.
Yep.
You got your 6410s, 2755.
Yep.
So you got a 6310 in the back.
Well, you know your stuff.
So the nice thing is about a 6410, 6310, they take the same filters.
Okay.
So we can come out here and the same
Bang it
price.
out at the same time. That's really great.
And believe it or not, a lot of your bigger tractors are the same filter as well. So it makes it very easy to be able to come in here for maintenance.
Good.
So
that's great.
It's a beautiful thing. So how can I help you with your maintenance? What's your goals here?
Well, basically, I just need someone to come by on a regular basis and service things and at the same time fix things when they break down. Because right now we just don't have basic maintenance service, and I'd like to find someone like yourself that works on weekends. So this way we're not affecting our weekday work having something out of commission.
I understand
So that's the base thing. And do you perform everything on site, or do you have a shop back at home you take stuff to, or how's that all work?
So the majority of all maintenance services will be on site.
Okay.
And now if there's a huge breakdown and we have to have an array of tools to be able to fix it, we'll bring it back to our shop and we can haul it back ourselves.
Okay, so you do that on site, or do you refer it to somebody?
We'll do that ourselves still. Yep. We just can't do it on site just because we can't bring the whole shop with us.
Of course.
But all maintenance, regular fluid changes can be done right here on site. Okay.
And do you haul them yourself, or we bring them back and forth? What's preferred?
It can be done either way.
Okay.
Whatever you prefer, really.
Yep, that's great.
So we've got all sorts of tiers of equipment. What kind of tier of service are you looking for?
Maybe you better explain those.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. Looking at what we talked about so far, what would you say is the best thing for us to do?
Well, if you don't have a real maintenance plan to begin with, you need to do a tier 1 service, which is a full fluid change from the front to the back of the tractor and every filter in between, along with greasing chassis and a good cleaning.
Okay.
That needs to be done annually. And then our tier 2 is just servicing the engine. If you're putting over 500 hours a year, you need to do the tier 2 as well, especially on your plow tractors. But I have a tier 3, which is our cheapest, which is simply just to clean the air filter and drop the oil and put a new oil filter on and grease.
Okay.
And so, with that being said, I would do an annual tier 1, and then depending on which tractor you got, you can do either a tier 2 or a tier 1 in between the seasons.
Okay. Now tell me, when you do this with the tiers, I usually do my own maintenance, and the majority of tractor work and our implements is we do in the winter when it's slower, obviously. Mm-hmm. So some of that stuff I can do myself. basically, what would you say we should do? Just come through and analyze each piece of equipment first and see what needs to be done, and then this way you have a track of what needs to be done after that?
We can definitely help you with that.
Okay.
We can definitely.
Because I know that thing we haven't serviced in a while.
Yeah, yeah. We can definitely do it on an individual scale, or we can do it on the whole fleet scale.
Okay.
And like I said, once if you have similar tractors or similar filters, they'll all be the same price,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So we try to make it as easy as possible for your fleet maintenance.
Okay.
So with pricing, as far as pricing goes, we have tier 1's usually around the $1,000 range, tier 2 is around the $500 range, and tier 3 is around $200.
Okay.
So it's very easy. I try to make it easy that way. And what costs us so much on the tier 1 is the hydraulic fluid.
Right.
So your hydraulic fluid on your tractors may have 10 gallons back there.
Yeah.
And it's
How often you change that? I can't remember.
you should do annually if you're
Right.
putting on more than 500 hours
Yeah.
per tractor.
Yeah.
And if you for John Deere with high guard, it's $100 per 5 gallons. So it's
Okay.
$20 a gallon.
Gotcha.
So when you got a system that's got 20 gallons in there, 20 times 20, that's $400
Yeah.
right there of that $1,000
Yeah.
service
And do you
cost.
you probably break out what the cost is of
Absolutely.
that, and
Yep.
then your labor.
And we're more than happy to estimate everything beforehand.
What does labor come? What do you think it? How
So-
many hours, like for that tier 3?
So for the tier 3 service, which is our minimal, I mean that's an hour.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then
meant the tier 1. I'm sorry.
Tier 1 would be your that'd be 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So it all depends just how easy everything goes. We'll have 2 people on site. It'll be
Yep.
my assistant and I to ensure maintenance is done at a supreme
So
quality.
is it just the 2 of you, or do you have anyone else that'd be working on it, or do I work with you the whole time?
It'll just be my assistant and I
Okay.
out here.
That's great.
Working on this stuff. So.
And how do you bill? How do we
So
pay you?
we prefer monthly,
Okay.
or after the service is done. Now, obviously, if you're spending a lot of money with us, we understand you have to, spread that out, and we can handle that.
Okay.
But we really prefer a monthly
Yeah,
cost.
that's what we do with most of our vendors.
That's great.
That's not a problem. Well, the only other question I have is that I do have a guy that specializes in maintenance that works for me, one of the guys. And one thing that we thought of is by you doing this, it'll free him up to be able to do other stuff so I can get more work out of him and not have to hire another employee.
Absolutely.
So we're going to base that, the money we spend on it, we may have to find someone else that'll do some of the other stuff to defray some costs. But I think it's great. When could you start?
Whenever. I mean, if you'd like us to quote it first, we can do that. That can be our
Yeah.
first step of the process. Look at each individual
That's what I meant.
equipment.
Yeah.
Now
So
we
you'll
also
do like a proposal and tell me that needs to be done immediately and that doesn't need to be done until the fall?
absolutely.
Okay.
And when we submit these, tell us which ones you use the most.
What's that?
Tell us which tractors you use the most or prefer to use the most.
Okay.
Because those are going to get more hours as they need more service.
Yep.
Where if you only use this tractor annually, it doesn't need the whole tier
Right.
3 or tier 1 package,
Gotcha.
our top tier.
Yeah.
So, so we also work on implements as well.
Yeah,
if you're-
a lot of that stuff isn't too bad, which is good. And I don't worry about that as much because we
Okay.
can fix that. I'd like for you to go everything with a motor first and go through that. And maybe in the fall we can pick up, because everything I think that we have for implements is working. Maybe a handful of things, but nothing that stops us from working at all. But it's been good. I mean, we would certainly like to see you come by and give us that proposal.
Absolutely, we can definitely handle that.
Good, good.
But yeah, just let us know when you would like to start, and we'll be happy to work with you.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to the guys. We'll get a little bit organized first, and I'll give you whatever records, have Jose, who does all that work, come and just figure out when the last time we've done some stuff so you
Absolutely.
can skip those. And I may connect you with him. He knows more about that stuff than I do. I just pay the bills.
There you go.
So that would be fine. Well, good. So when will you see me? When will I see you again?
Well, I'll go ahead and get a quote together
Okay.
right here after this conversation, and
Yeah. Well, the Smiths like you, so I want to hire you.
There
That's
you
all
go.
there is to it. I think it'd be good.
we'll
And it'll
appreciate
make
that.
my life easier having this a little bit organized and not have to worry,
Yep.
So that'd
And
be great.
you know, those prices I gave you are pretty much based on around a 100 horsepower tractor.
Okay.
So your
Well, I think-
big tractors way over there in the corner may cost a little bit more, but
Of
like
course.
I said, we're gonna quote it all
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
we
So,
understand. And the Smith said you don't rip them off, so I know you're not going to try to rip me off. So
I appreciate that.
that's great. We appreciate it very much.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.